Hey, with that, welcome back inside the ballpark, everyone. It's time for TinChattin, episode number 6 of the 2024 season. As always, he's Mike Maahs. I am Justin Prince. And Mike, we've got a TinCaps team that's been unrecognizable for the last few weeks now. They've won, 4 of their last 6 games.
They've won.
It's a little bit of a turnaround.
2 in a row in this series with South Bend coming into, Friday. And they won 2 of the last 3 with West Michigan. So something new, something different.
Some good things to talk about.
4 wins out of 6 games, and they are playing better.
Yes, they are.
And it's in all facets. Getting some really good pitching, some timely hitting, especially from one Devin Ortiz. And the defense isn't that bad either. And it's all coming together slowly but surely.
Yeah, absolutely. And hey, talking about the hitting, especially, Mike, you mentioned Devin Ortiz, the walk-off hit on Tuesday or Wednesday night here at the ballpark. Obviously a big night from Griffin Dorsching, hitting a monster home run to help lift the TinCaps to the victory here on Thursday night.
I mean, we can talk about some offense that we're finally getting some of, but the pitching.
Yeah, the pitching has been phenomenal.
In the game on Thursday night alone,
Miguel Cienfuegos, we've talked about him in the last couple of weeks. Miguel Cienfuegos has just been steady all season long. He had that big outing in Lake County, pitched the complete game in the 7-inning shutout. Tonight he comes back and has another stellar outing once again. Again, the strikeout numbers weren't huge, but he limited South Bend to just the 1 run across, I believe it was 6 innings of work, and really just pitched phenomenally once again in a night when they really needed an outing like that from him.
They really did, and 6 innings, 1 run, 3 hits. I believe he walked 1 or whatever, struck out 3, but the TinCaps had the lead. They got the lead early, and something that they haven't had many of this year, and they hung on. And then again, when Dorsching hits that bomb, I think everybody in a TinCap uniform exhaled.
I was going to say, it was like a sigh of relief.
Yeah. And then the bullpen, you had Ruben Galindo and David Morgan combined for 3 scoreless and hitless innings. That's a good sign of things to come, I think.
Yeah, absolutely is. Mike, throughout the year, we've obviously, talked a little bit about some of the best players to come through in the Fort Wayne TinCaps uniform, in a visiting uniform. We've also talked a little bit about some of our favorite moments that we've seen here at Parkview Field. And in the 15 years of this ballpark, Mike, we've seen, plenty of plays from guys like Fernando Tatis make SportsCenter's top 10. Other moments like that make SportsCenter. But I don't think anything had the traction on ESPN and across really the national media like one of these, the next moment that we're going to talk about did. And I wasn't here for it, but I do certainly remember watching it on TV and seeing it. And that was the geyser, Mike, which happened just over my right shoulder there back in 2014, 10 years ago already.
Hard to believe 10 years, and it all happened on what turned out to be a foul ball hitting the air and heading towards the TinCap bullpen. And wouldn't you know it, that all of a sudden a cleat hits a, what do you call it? Water sprinkler head, and kaboom. Fort Wayne geyser number 1. And as you said, it made the top 10 of ESPN's that night. And many media outlets contacted the team. Can we get a copy of it? It was phenomenal, but it was one of the funniest moments. It probably came at the most opportune time. I'm not sure the TinCaps or the Great Lakes Loons, who were the opponents that day, may have thought so, but it just kind of put into perspective that baseball's a game.
Oh, yeah. And
anything can happen on a given day. And in that particular day, the water burst, if you will.
Yeah, it sure did. And to take a look back at that very special moment in TinCaps history, here's John Nolan.
This is a first. I don't know that I've ever seen this before.
Nope. You can't predict baseball, and you never know what you'll see at the ballpark. Those adages proved true at Parkview Field on April 30th, 2014. A seemingly innocent foul pop-up turned into a viral moment that made national headlines. As the TinCaps were playing the Great Lakes Saloons, a visiting player sent a foul ball down the right field line. Caps first baseman Fernando Perez, who'd go on to set a franchise record for RBIs that year, attempted to make a catch, but instead accidentally kicked open a sprinkler valve, leading water to shoot out of the ground like a geyser and delaying the game nearly 20 minutes on an otherwise dry day.
Well, this presents an interesting situation now for the TinCaps bullpen.
Video was shared all over, even appearing on SportsCenter's not top 10. The ballpark geyser is an all-time Parkview Field memory.
All right, so pretty cool look back in time there from John Nolan. And speaking of looking back in time, Mike, we have talked about some of the top visiting players to come through Parkview Field during its 15-year history. Obviously, we've already talked about, guys like Vlad Guerrero Jr., Bo Bichette, guys like that. We're going to talk about another guy that played for another Michigan team, and that would be the West Michigan Whitecaps, and Nick Castellanos. He's had a lot of moments and a very good career in the major leagues. But Mike, he was certainly one of the best that came through this ballpark as one of the visitors.
He really was. He played for the West Michigan Whitecaps. Again, they're the affiliate of the Detroit Tigers. A very high draft pick. And one thing that we saw, unfortunately, the way he could hit the baseball.
Yeah.
He's not the best. In fact, he was a third baseman when he was at West Michigan. Today, he's an outfielder. And last year, the last couple of years, he has become a somewhat feared power hitter.
Yeah, and to take a look back at his time with West Michigan when he came through Parkview Field, again, here's John Nolan.
Before he was a two-time National League All-Star and Silver Slugger Award winner, Nick Castellanos was a Midwest League All-Star with the West Michigan Whitecaps in 2011. As a 19-year-old third baseman, Castellanos appeared in 9 games at Parkview Fields. Sure enough, he hit the first homer of his minor league baseball career here in the Fort as he went on to lead the league in hits that season. His bat has hardly cooled off. Since debuting with the Tigers in 2013, Castellanos has continued hitting deep drives for the Cubs, Reds, and now Phillies. Nick Castellanos is one of the best visiting players ever to come through Parkview Fields.
All right, thanks to John for taking a look back at Nick Castellanos' time here coming through Parkview Field, albeit as a visitor. Still pretty cool to see. Mike, talking about this year's team once again. The Fort Wayne TinCaps finish up their 6-game homestand here this week, but guess what? The fans don't have to wait for them to come home for another week. They get another 6-game homestand next Tuesday through Sunday.
Yeah, Saturday, Sunday finishes up the series with South Bend, the off day on Monday, and then the Lansing Lugnuts, the high A affiliate of the Oakland Athletics, come to town.
Yep.
But the TinCaps, as you said, we won 2 out of 3 against South Bend so far, coming into Friday's play. 4 out of the last 6, trying to turn things around. I think the fact that they're at home and they're going to get to be home for another week plus is really, really important to this team.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's going to do it for episode number 6 of TinChattin for the 2024 campaign. Mike and I are going to be back here at the ballpark next week. Until then, we're going to be back with more in the locker room right after this break.